But how I got there is just, I don't know how. I started off, my mother and my father were drug addicts, alcoholics. My father prostituted my mother. They owned brothels up and down I-95. If you were to see my family, you would never have a clue. We were upper echelon, you know what I'm saying? The good family. My father beat my mother. He abused her regularly. I saw all that. At age of 5, my father abandoned my mother.
Have you heard about Book Authority's best new podcasting book winner, which is Dr. Tina J. Ramsay, for her book, The Power of Podcasting, Unlocking Tips and Strategies for Podcasting Success. This book is your podcasting coach in a book. She is sharing so many strategies. This book reached #1 twice on Amazon for new release and best-selling book. So go ahead to CTRMediaNetwork.com to purchase your copy today, or simply place your order on CTR Media Network is now accepting new podcasters to join our growing network that's reaching 350 million global listeners. Have you heard? CTR Media Network offers podcast production, podcast training, distribution, and product placement. Book us for your next event or schedule an interview with CTR Media Network podcasters today. To learn more, go to ctrmedianetwork.com.
Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Tina J. Ramsay, the host of the Tina Ramsay Show and podcast, powered by CTR Media Network. And today we are live on site at the Hush No More Domestic Violence Health Fair. Yes, so we putting health and domestic violence together, and also providing a safe place for people to heal from past traumas, and also giving them a safe haven place in order to share their stories if they would like to share their stories. And today we have an amazing, brave woman who wants to share her story. And she is a familiar face because she was at another event earlier this year and we was able to speak, but her story wasn't able to be shared in the way that we really wanted it to be shared. And so therefore, look how God do things.
Amazing.
Bring it right back.
Right here.
Right back.
Right back
Different
here.
location. Same thing.
Same thing.
All right.
Different
So,
time.
first of all, let's welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm so happy that when I saw your face, I was like, come here.
Yes.
Okay, so first, tell the people to re-enlighten the people who already know who you are, but the people who never saw you, tell them your name and what you do.
Hi, my name is Cassandra Moneymaker. I am in Columbia, South Carolina. I am a franchise owner of a Brazilian wax and spa by Claudia. Additionally, I own or founded Out of the Box Outreach. We are a ministry that walks with divine appointment. The Lord tells us that Jesus leaves the flock of 100 leaves the 99 for one, and he sends me after those ones, and I praise him that he's chosen me and allows me to do that. I am especially excited to be here today to share my story. I have never shared my story in its entirety. This is a very unique walk, and it's appointed time for today. And I just praise him and hope that I speak his words that he wants me to say.
And I want to, first of all, tell you that I'm so proud of you, and I'm honored that you are willing to share your story with us. Because stories are powerful, and when you can share your story, that's when you can truly heal from it. I had to learn that the hard way. You can't heal from things that you keep quiet. And so today, we're going to take it how fast or how slow you would like us to go, but this is your place to start and tell your story. So what I'm going to do is just simply give you the stage and let you share your story.
Okay. So as we've already said, I'm a franchise owner of Brazilian Wax and Spa. This was a God's gift to me. My best friend came to me and asked me if I wanted to open it. But how I got there is just, I don't know how. I started off, my mother and my father were drug addicts, alcoholics. My father prostituted my mother. They owned brothels up and down I-95. If you were to see my family, you would never had a clue. We were upper echelon, you know what I'm saying? The good family. My father beat my mother. He abused her regularly. I saw all that. At age of 5, my father abandoned my mother. My mother went on to work the circuit and left me and my sister with the foster care, well, with the babysitter for a year. Foster care called my mother and told my mother and my father that they had 24 hours to pick us up or they were taking us. My father comes to get us. He picks us up. We say where we're going. He says, I'm taking you home. My sister and I thought we were going home to his house with him and his new wife. But no, he took us to my aunt and uncle's and dropped us off in the middle of the night. I remember she had fried chicken waiting on us. So my aunt and uncle became my safe place. However, this safe place brought a lot of hurt. She was angry. I think because she had to take on the responsibility of my mother's responsibility. And I understand that now as I'm older. But she did not know how to express it. And that came out through beatings, verbal abuse, mental abuse. But what was the worst is they didn't know that their son was sexually abusing me for 12 years. And every night I would go home, or every night I lay down, and he'd come in my room. Once it was finally told that he was doing this, he was allowed to go out of state to a Ivy League school while I had to stay. Time passes by. There is a lot of resentment. Obviously, I'm the problem child. Obviously, I mean, I'm going through all this. I have no way to express myself, nobody to talk to, nobody believing me. My sophomore year, last day of school, I went to a party I should not have been at, and I was gang raped by 17 men, boys. So I'm saying, this is a story. And that just put me on another place. Well, growing up in the South, we know back in the 70s and 80s, early 90s, what it was like. The racial tension and had not subsided as much, and everything, interracial relationships were taboo. It was not allowed in our family. And because my parents caught wind of this gang rape, I was kicked out of the house at 16. My mother came and got me and took me to a whorehouse. And that introduced me to sex trade. You can breathe. Take a deep breath. You are in control. I never thought I was worth anything more for a long time. It took me years to understand that. All of this trauma took me to another place. It took me to a place spiritually, to where I turned to the darker side and I started practicing witchcraft. And that took me even deeper into places that were not needed. You know what I'm saying? That I should not go. Spiritually, physically, and mentally. I've tried to commit suicide many times. The Lord said no. To fast forward, during that time, before I found the Lord, I had 2 children. One of them I did not have the ability to raise because his other parent, his other side, the paternal side, stepped in at 21 and I was nowhere near in the mental state to do it. I was divorced by 21 twice. Never remarried after that. Done. But however, I've been in domestic violence because of not having any self-worth or any self-esteem. I would just be with somebody to be with them. It was situational shifts, I guess is what the best way to say it, which turns to domestic violence. All that rage comes out. I've been kidnapped. I've been held in other countries. I have went through learning that. But you know, I got pregnant with my third son. I did not want a baby. I knew who I was. I knew I was not well to raise a child. I knew I was not. I denied it. During birth, he and I both died. I went to heaven. I saw God, I saw Jesus. And at that moment, freedom came. It took me a long time to learn that freedom and to learn that self-worth. But it is through him that I am alive today. It is only because of him I am alive today. I've been in relationships where I've been, like I said, kidnapped. I've been in relationships where I was held at gunpoint in Mexico for a year. I've been locked out of the house naked and the door open, and me beating on the door trying to get back in, and my boyfriend just opened the door and bust my nose and me pass out. It's rough. But then God came in. He sent me, I started seeking after childbirth. And I'm sorry this is all kind of disorganized, but it's the first time. And when we went in seeking, he kept telling me, go work with the homeless and you'll be provided for. What? And for 6 months I heard this. A friend of mine's son, he was just 6 months older than my son, was murdered by his babysitter. I couldn't go to the funeral. I went to the funeral home, but I couldn't go to the funeral. So that next Sunday I said, Lord, I'm going to go give a memorial at the church. I walk in and they were not having service, but it was a missions day. And there was a new homeless mission looking for volunteers. I quit my job stripping. I mean, I was a dancer. We already talked about going through the whole, where that leads you. We just didn't go into it. Quit my job dancing. Went and worked at this ministry for 9 months, no pay, 72 hours a week. The Lord used that ministry, and he used, I'm going to give Dr. Joseph Nana Shaker a plug here, Dr. Joseph Nana Shaker of Zarephath Ministries. He used him to change my life. On December 9th, 2010, the darkness left and the light poured in. At that moment, I learned who I was. I learned that I am worthy, that I am strong, that I have the confidence, that I do have value, and I have purpose. Today, my business is dedicated to helping people that need that confidence, that they don't have that peace. Our prayer is that every person that walks in feels the peace of the Lord, that if you need to release something, you need to talk about something, we are here for you. Just turn to somebody. If you're in a place that you are in domestic violence, it's hard to get out. It is hard. But start making your exit plan. It might take 6 months. It might take a year. It might take 2 years. I've had one relationship. It took me a year and a half to make and execute my exit plan. 2 years ago, I was in a bad relationship. 8 years. My son's still very dramatically traumatized by it. And it was at an event, Stomp Out Crime, 2 years ago, that the testimonies there gave me the courage to make an exit plan and to execute it. If it were not for Dr. Vanessa with Hush No More, Dr. Juanita with Rediscover Me, I would not be standing here today. If you know someone who is hurting, who is in this situation, just be a listening ear. Don't tell them what to do, because then they're going to cut off from you. Because they're already carrying guilt that their children are dealing with this. They're already feeling shame because they're allowing this to happen to them, their children. They don't want to come out in public. They don't want to communicate because they feel nothing but judgment, when all we really, really, truly need is love. And with your love, you can help and save people's lives. And that's what I ask you to do, just to show people their love. I know my story's kind of disorganized, but it's all God. I can tell you the last part of it, but since God's came in, I can't even tell you. It's just, I'm at 14 years serving Him. The Lord has used me to help get dancers off drugs, help get their kids back, help get homeless people into rehab, help even my family get help and deal with their trauma and find freedom. And today, here in this park, there is freedom. There is joy. We might not see it right here today, but there are going to be souls that are saved because of this event and God moving through it and the awareness and the love here. Thank you.
Well,
that was a lot.
Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for being so brave. And again, thank you for honoring us and sharing your story here, because you could have did it anywhere. And the fact that you shared it here, and what I hear in your story is that I have never heard a story that has so many multiple layers of traumatic situations happening. And I would have never guessed in 1,000 years that you went through all of that, because you ooze of love.
That's what it's all about.
You are just, you're just so inspiring.
Thank you.
You're just so inspiring, and I'm just like, thank you. You show people that no matter how bad something was, that there's hope.
There's hope. There's hope.
There's love.
There's love.
And God can heal all things.
Yes. Yes. In Peter, 2 Peter, he tells us love covers a multitude of sins. And for us to have healing, the number one thing we have to do is forgive. Because unless we forgive those who have hurt us, we will never, ever have that peace. My accoster, I don't know what to call him, because I don't want to call his name out, but my accoster, he and I have a great relationship today. And that might seem really weird to some people, but the day his first son was born, somebody asked me if I thought it was right that he should have children, and I'm like, I wouldn't be who I am today, and I couldn't help the people I've helped today if it was not for these circumstances. I would be a stuck-up little snot, probably. just to kind of say it, you know. But because I went through this, my heart is so huge, because I don't want anybody to ever feel like they don't have somebody to talk to. They don't have somebody to love them. They don't have somebody just to support them and just say, hey, have a good day. Smile at somebody. Just smile. That smile might make their day. But thank you. Thank you for the compliment.
You are most welcome, and thank you for sharing your story with us on our show. You guys, make sure to check her out in her business and her organization. And if you had any type of feeling towards this, because many of you that watch the show, you may be battling with domestic violence yourself, or a family member or a friend, and you just feel like you have no hope. If this story did not give you that hope, I don't know what will. So there's help out here. You can go and check out hushnomore.org. That's hushnomore.org, and connect with not only Hush No More, but it's several other organizations. So make sure to go check them out today. And as always, Like I always tell you on every episode, if no one told you today that you matter, that you are worthy, that you are special, I want you to know that I love you. And I want you to do what until I see you next time? Keep smiling. Okay, I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Have a great day. Talk to you later.